Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for more of Kingdom Hearts. Not Final Mix, I'm on the PS2. Yes, this is my copy of Kingdom Hearts. Thanks to everyone else who actually, you know, mostly Sibling Cario, who used my copy to get me the footage I needed throughout the project until I actually got the copy back myself. But, yeah, we're back on the original Kingdom Hearts for a bonus episode. We're using some cheats, actually, from the Action Replay Max. And I am in the UK. I use, you know, PAL stuff, so these particular cheats are focusing on either beta weapons or you know, weapons that we do have within the game that we can never equip again. These are the most fascinating things that intrigue me in Kingdom Hearts. The cheats are probably on screen right now. You may actually notice that I've marked some of them as volatile. They were not on the on my Action Replay Max. I actually had to input those myself by using a converter. Convert raw cheat code into AR Max PAL compliant with Kingdom Hearts UK edition. So yeah, that was a bit of a rigmarole. But, you know what, unlike Kingdom Hearts 2, where I had a few problems on trying to get a couple of the beta weapons to work, because, you know, there's just no documentation of these codes, I thought I'd step up to the plate and do a bonus episode showing some of these very codes. But those volatile ones, the big home key and the small home key, there's not a lot of documentation even in video on how actually volatile they are. I keep getting conflicting remarks like, oh yeah, it's corrupted my save before, so don't save the game. I'll use the soft reset, which is L1, R1, L2, R2, start and select. So, because I'll have to use that anyway, because if I equip the wooden sword or the dream sword, they're not gonna be unequipable like they are in the main game. So, yes, I do have a massive memory card, as you can tell by the bar, but what I do have is a save file that's pretty much 100% on this particular system. On this, yeah, I've backed up my file as well, just in case if anything does go wrong. And I am actually recording this with the Roxio. I managed to make it so that the component signal would go through, but it's still only 480i, not 480p. Don't know why I got that wrong in the very first episode, but there you go. Although, because I'm recording it with XSplit, it's automatically de-interlaced, so hopefully that's not an issue. But yes, look, everything looks pretty much the same, almost. I mean, stats may be a little bit different, but Goofy's got tons of magic. But other than that, we're pretty much exactly where we are, minus the HDness and the 4x3, as well as almost every piece of ability that's worth our salt. Yeah, I don't see any tech boosts. I don't even see Ripple Drive or Sliding Dash. Yeah, combat in the original was clunky, so that's fun. But yes, I do in fact have cheer. As I said when I made that bonus video, which was, funnily enough, right before I made this one. Yeah, that's how I found out, by trying to finish off this particular file all set for today. So, what do we have? Well, I'm not going to show off the home keys at the moment. In fact, I'm going to be starting off with the basic stuff first. Basically, it's going to be a weapon showcase for cheats, really, because any other items that didn't really feel like they were interesting or noteworthy, I don't even have those codes, so I'd have to convert them. And yeah, that's kind of the thing. So, as you can see, we actually have, okay, they're blank. They don't even load the models. I don't think they worked properly. I haven't actually tested the cheats out myself, so I wasn't too sure if I wanted to actually try them. But yeah, we have the Dream Sword, which is a power of 1, but actually it's not a power of 1. It's got a bit of a weird stat changer with it. Basically, it says strength of 1, but it's actually 1 times every 10th level that you have. So if you're level 100, this has a power level of 10, apparently. And we also have the wooden sword, which is a power level of 0, but unlike when you're wielding it during Hollow Bastion, where every Heartless is superpowered to the point that your weapon does no damage and you have to rely on magic, this isn't affected by that kind of stat. This is basically the same wooden sword from the beginning of the game, and not the one that you... It's the same wooden sword, let's be honest, but as I said, if I... Well, we'll start with the Dream Sword first. If I equip it, I have lost my Keyblades. I cannot go in anymore. So I am now permanently locked down in my Keyblades. But we still have quite an awesome sword. In fact, I'm just going to go in here just to fight the Invisibles and all that, because that's a good place to test things out here. Yeah, the thing is that when it comes to the Dream Sword, knocking you out, not kind of a problem. Obviously, they are in my inventory, but I've lost everything else. You can still pretty much beat the game with it. It's just you don't really get any benefits. Have I just taken care of them already? Yep. that quick, pretty much. So yeah, you can tell that the power level of this weapon isn't exactly much different than what we are, but then again, I'm level 100. But because I am now locked out, I pretty much have to do a soft reset in order to change my weapons again. I recommend not saving with these cheats on in this particular case, because all of these weapons, both the home key and the small key, from what I've read, are quite volatile, and if you equip the wooden sword or the dream sword, you are permanently locked into them. So yeah, just don't save with these codes, because there's just no point. If you're going to use them, that's the thing. But if you notice as well, when I was talking at the beginning, I had Combo Master as an ability, but we checked my abilities earlier on. It's just a debug code in a way. It just enables it, so it just enables the code. It's not actually an ability that you have to equip. It's not in our ability list. It's just active if you have the cheat enabled. So if you want that ability enabled in the original, you're going to have to cheat for it. And to be honest, Combo Master in original Kingdom Hearts, I don't think that's that big of a cheat. I feel like that's perfectly justified, because it is a legit cheat in the game, just not in this one. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's turned it on without actually letting me know, and it was removed last minute, and then they restored it for Final Mix. Who knows? But anyway, that is the Dream Sword. We've now got the Wooden Sword. Again, we are locked in. We cannot swap it out. All the codes for these, for the PAL versions, will be in the description, because there's not that much coverage for PAL versions, or by, you know, converting it for you. Yeah, we don't actually one-shot anything, so it is definitely weaker, but... and it still has the same sound effects. There are actually codes that allow you to swap the appearance of every single one of your weapons to a particular weapon, so you can benefit with the strength and power boosts and abilities that, as well as the reach that other Keyblades give you, but just changing its appearance for that particular playthrough with the action replay code on. Saving won't make it a problem, it just replaces the model for every single weapon. Since I was talking through the previous soft reset, because that's what I'm going to have to do to swap my Keyblades, I thought I'd cut that out. And that was also a good time to talk about Combo Master, as it may have been implemented during the battle there. Now, I have... This is the first take, because if something goes wrong I might have to retake. But this is the first time I'm recording this. I have never equipped these home keys, and I don't actually know which is which, because it's not telling me. Apparently, and this is from conflicting sources, because some people say it's fine, some people say that it corrupts your save. We're going to find that out. I'm not... Yes, this is my biggest memory card, but I haven't actually got much saved on here. In fact, I've got this file backed up onto an actual official memory card. So if this does wipe itself, I can easily redo things. But I've never used these before. All I know is that from the very few video sources that there are online, it, like, makes the item pickup sound when you're walking around, so the chain sound, like, of it chingling is actually the item pickup sound. Apparently it gives you regen. It has the same stats as the Kingdom Key, but they're basically like a glass big and a glass small version of them. So I don't know what's going to happen if I press this. I better be ready to scramble. So I'm actually going to move my microphone, so I might be a little bit quiet. We're doing this live. Get my tray off so I can actually move. Let's equip this one first, see what happens. Okay, so that's fine, apparently. I can actually swap it out, which is also fine. Okay. What's going to happen? Ow! Ow! It didn't work. Maybe it will work if I transition. This is the correct code. Seems to work just the same. Not what I was expecting. Let me walk around for a bit. Do I have regen? No, this is not what I was expecting. Maybe it's only work. Maybe the home keys were removed in the PAL versions, because I live in the UK, so of course I'm going to be operating on PAL hardware. But yeah, maybe they were fixed and removed in the PAL versions after the American and Japanese versions launched, so they're just dummy Kingdom Keys that are more stable. I don't know. Alright, this is a Kingdom Key as well. This is a Kingdom Key as well. That's really odd. Also, these guys always show up, even if you go through the funnel door without Encounter Plus, because there's no Encounter Plus in the original. Oh, god damn it. Even with Combo Master, I can't hit you. Could you not? Thank you, Goof. But, yeah. That's probably why there's not a lot of documentation when it comes to the big honky and the small honky. Because they're just appearing as dummy Kingdom Keys to me. Maybe it's because I didn't have the code correct, but then again, if the code's not correct, it won't let me save it on the Action Replay Max, so that's a bit weird. I was prepared. I was definitely prepared, just in case if something bad happened. But, yeah, that's a bit weird, That's a bit weird. Because I used the exact same, like, decryption algorithm to get the Dream Sword and the Wooden Sword, and they both worked. And the first Dream Sword code that I used was actually a model replacement, because every single one of my weapons looked like the Dream Sword, but it had the reach and powers of the Keyblade I chose. So, chain of memories in a way. So yeah, it's that's a bit odd as to why these do not show up as anything. My only guess is that because I scoured the internet before I made these videos, because there is literally hardly any information on PAL codes that are not already included in the AR Max for PAL regions. And when I found out about the big honky and the small honky, I tried to do like research on it. I mean, hell, even the Kingdom Hearts wiki has information on the beta weapons for Kingdom Hearts 2, not Kingdom Hearts 1. The big and small honky are mysteries. I have seen video footage of people pointing their camera toward the TV and playing with it, and I can hear the sound effects, I can see how it is, but I've never seen like anything so bad as corrupting files. That's just hearsay, because I haven't seen proof, but at the same time, I wanted to use the codes to get them on my game, and as far as I can see here, I have accessed a Keyblade that was removed, that is probably still in the files. It is still in the files, so it is definitely a beta weapon, but it's just been swapped out with a Kingdom Key copy. So basically I've got Roxas's and Shion's Kingdom Key right here. This is a bonus episode, spoilers aren't a thing. So that's a bit weird. It's like I have these two copies of the Kingdom Key, which tells me that they have been swapped. Whatever was in these files before have been swapped out with dummies, so it doesn't bug out the game. And another reason being is that the German and Spanish versions of Kingdom Hearts or in the Power regions, they need completely different codes to access things, even though they're the same region and the same disc, just in a different language. When you notice when I boot up this game, there was no language select. So clearly they've changed things a lot more for the Power version after they moved it from Japan to NTSC regions like the US and all that. They changed it. So the only thing I can think of, I know I'm going around in circles, but I'm just trying to cover all bases. This tells me that these are in fact the big and small honkies in the UK versions. Especially for the PAL versions, because the models have been removed, their unstable code have just been replaced with a copy of the Kingdom Key. No description, no name, it's literally just the Kingdom Key. And to be honest, most games that have dummy items like that, like in Final Fantasy, it's just the dirk or dagger. It's just the dagger copied. Or maybe a potion copied. And like I said, any other like abilities that I could look at are pretty much just unlocking what you have, except for Combo Master. Looking for any other weapons, there wasn't any other weapons, unless I wanted to equip Sora with the Dream Rod and Dream Shield, but there's not really much point in doing that, since Donald and Goofy get them in the main game, so I would rather have Sora have the Dream Sword, so we have the trinity of dream weapons. That's the idea, and Sora technically does have the wooden sword on him at all times, because if he loses the Kingdom Key, which he does, he goes back to the wooden sword. So, and the Dream Sword only appears in a dream, but Donald and Goofy get their dream ability, their dream versions. I'm surprised, like, the game doesn't actually give you this at some point. So, that does actually baffle me. Alright, so I'm going to try and boot in the game with only one. Maybe it's because they are both technically the same key and it changes the size. Maybe that's why they didn't know how to be read, so they defaulted to the thing. Maybe that's an idea. The thing is that by converting these codes from raw code to comply with the UK versions of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 when it came to the beta weapons as well, it took me forever to do it on Kingdom Hearts 2. And yet, when I finally got them to actually save, I activated them all, and they worked. And they're not volatile, so you can actually save your file with them. But that's obviously for another time. Trying to get this to work. Can we at least get the big Hong key to work? That's the question. The code didn't want to launch the game. I only have the one code on. With other codes, it seemed to launch fine. It just gave me dummy keyblades. That might have been the problem. Ah, we've solved the mystery. Well, we haven't solved the mystery. We've got some answers. The game is not launching. I put on one of the two keys, and it's not launching the game. The plot thickens. I'll try the small Hong key, see if I can load the game with that. Alright, so the big Hong key didn't work. We'll try the small Hong key. Maybe because it's smaller, it won't overload the game. I had a feeling that having them both equipped might be an issue. We'll try that again and see what happens. But, yeah. Let's try boot it up again. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll even try it with one key, and then try it with another weapon, perhaps. Oh! 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 The game loaded! Interesting, that. Maybe there's something wrong with the big... Maybe there's something wrong with the big Hong key, but not the small Hong key. Either that or the big Hong key is... Or maybe both of them are just... Sometimes don't launch the game. Maybe. Not entirely too sure. Alright, let me load into my file and we'll see what happens. Alright, so we're in our file. Let's see what happens. Equipment. Oh. Wait. So why did the big one give me a duplicate then, but this one's just this? There's nothing different. Why did the big one not load? I mean, it loaded last time when I had everything else active, because I had two dummies. Interesting. Okay, I literally do not have any other cheat on other than the small Hong key. But this time it booted, and yet it doesn't have it loaded. But the big Hong key did load with other codes, which gave me another dummy kingdom key, because I had two of them, which is the big Hong key and the small Hong key, but that one didn't want to boot on its own. Alright, so since the game didn't want to boot with big Hong only, but it did with small Hong only, what happens if I put both of them on only? You know, my Action Replay Max disc is so badly scratched. It doesn't read all the time. Then again, that could just be the PlayStation 2 not refusing to read the disc sometimes, in general, but it does have quite a few scratches. I'm surprised it still works. But it is a pain to boot in every single time. Not only that, but when it loads the cheat code list, because, you know, I've updated it and also put in my own codes, it takes a while. That booted in. Alright, back to the file. I want to keep showing what the codes I have before I actually boot in, so you guys know what I'm actually trying to accomplish here. And they are both here again as dummy keyblades. So why did the big Hong key not boot on its own? The small one will boot on its own, and both of them will boot with other codes. Alright, one more try. We're going to do big Hong key only, and let's see if it boots. Oh, this time it actually did. So why did it not work the first time? Clearly the big Hong key code is not stable, so it's either reading an incorrect file, or it really is that volatile, in fact, that to the point that if it doesn't read it correctly, it doesn't work at all. If it does read correctly and the game stabilizes, it defaults to the dummy, and if it doesn't do it properly, it might give us what it's supposed to be? Question mark? We'll have to load in the game and see what happens. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see if it worked. Nope, it's still a dummy, so it just randomly didn't want to load that one time. Maybe it's because it is technically deleted, but because it's accessing an empty file, it defaults to the Kingdom Key, instead of having leftover data that used to be in there, because I do know that they have a model. It's supposed to be the similar shape to the Kingdom Key, but it's just basic blocks, and it looks like crystal, or glass, one of the two. It looks like a glass keyblade, and that's it. The big honky is supposed to be a big, giant variation, like the Buster Blade, your own version of Leon's crystal blade, whatever, when he uses that during his as his limit during the battles in Olympus Coliseum, or you know, you got the small one which is the same size as the Kingdom Key, but it's the same as what's like the big honky is, a crystal-looking keyblade. But I think because it just didn't want to read the code that one time, I'm guessing it just hiccuped because it's supposed to be a removed file. And because it's accessing an empty file, it's literally just defaulting to the Kingdom Key, because that's the default for a weapon, because that is supposed to be your default weapon. So that's probably the reason. They were the big honky and small honky, but not in the UK PAL version. If it is in any other version, I do not have any other version, and even if I did, well, it would probably either be the German or French or Spanish version or whatever, because they're all PAL related. If they are not a PAL version, like the US version, because it's NTSC, or Japan, because it's NTSCJ, Japan, or JPN, one of the two, then that means it's not going to work. So I guess that is the true end to this video, because I've tried initiating the codes on their own multiple times, and we haven't really got anywhere. So I think, whoa. Whoa, okay, that was the lighting from the sparkle fountains. That was weird. But yes, so I think we're going to be leaving it off there. So in the next time when we come back to the Kingdom Hearts series, we'll be on another game, unless I find any more cheats that access stuff that hasn't actually been well documented, because Kingdom Hearts 2's had more documentation than this in terms of weaponry, because the big Hong and small honky, not on the wiki. So yeah, we tried to solve the mystery, but I just do not have the version for it. That's what we've deduced. I'll give you the codes for PAL copies. Mine is I just realised mine is the Platinum version, so that might have another thing to do with it. Maybe the Platinum version doesn't have the keys, but the non-versions might, the other versions might? I don't know. Again, I don't have those versions, I only have the Platinum, and the Platinum's probably the most common one because I always see it in that box. So yeah, anyway, in the next episode, guys, for whatever we do next on the Channel All Kingdom Hearts series, we'll be going to another game. We'll be continuing on with the story. It gets complicated from here. See you guys then.